After 5 years of waiting, with the return of Baby Keem and his new album, what that means is on top of getting one of the most anticipated hip-hop albums in recent history, we got new Kendrick Lamar verses and features. And with the king of rap returning, as this is the first time we are hearing Kendrick on a new song in about half a year, he has had a lot to say. And after some rappers have seemingly gotten way too comfortable speaking down on greatness and feeling like they are better rappers than him, even Kendrick Lamar has come out and made some jabs and sent some very clear signals to some of the biggest rappers in the game, and to some of the most pathetic. And if you are ready to just get into this and waste no more time, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hype. Well, let's just get into the absolute hip-hop moment that we are seeing go down in a fashion that nobody is going to forget. Because while first off, this new Baby Keem album just dropped. And I will make this clear, there is so much to uncover and dissect about this body of work, within everything else that we are going to need to have a much deeper conversation about. There is one part of this album that we can all see already, and that was very clearly supposed to be this way by design, right on its impact. And that is the message, the warning and the signal that we have gotten from Kendrick Lamar's brand new feature verse on the track, with Baby Keem called Good Flirts. And now with this song context really matters here, and I think as rap listeners and in the current attention economy we are in today, people are forgetting a lot. But let's just break it down, as this is the first verse that Kendrick Lamar is on since Chains and Whips with the Clips, and the first one he has recorded because that record was made during the beef since Playboy Card's Good Credit, from I Am Music, which was about 11 months ago. This is really a monumental moment because we are getting the chance to hear Kendrick Lamar rap within the current head SP space that he is in for the first time in about a year. And even on a song that by design is really a smooth love track that is about to crush it on radio and streaming. Kendrick managed to include some very clever signals and strong jabs and messages that really do feel like a warning, with both name drops and some more subliminal messaging, which of course at the top of this list. This is why we are here. Who got dissed and what we need to have a bigger conversation about is everything surrounding none other than Young Thug, and with him especially. There is a lot of people confused about this for some reason, and this is why context and this is why media literacy matters. Let's go back down memory lane for a second in a saga that started in August of 2025, and that all came to fruition with a leaked phone call where Young Thug just trashed Kendrick Lamar, saying in the big picture of it all in a very long-winded rant that Kendrick does not bless other artists with features and put them on to build long, amazing careers, and that's why he will never be bigger than Drake. Which, if you don't remember, came in a series of phone calls that leaked from Young Thug in 2023, where he was talking about his Business is Business album, and in the process of making that album, he said this about Kendrick, because he was mad that Kendrick turned down a feature for the record. Well, from that, and then with Young Thug putting the style of rapping and storytelling in Kendrick's music down, and then being seen trying to chase cloud and sub Kendrick in the way of doing that towards the end of 2025 as, well, after all of that, and after incessant dissing, and after moving with the people who very clearly align with everything he is against. Now, after all of that, Kendrick has decided to put Young Thug's name right within the center of one of the most anticipated verses in all of hip-hop right now. And when you break it down, you see that it's not in a flattering way, despite the way it is being framed within the text of the moment as well. What we are seeing here is Kendrick really finding one of the most clever and tasteful ways to put into perspective how much of a straight-up clown that Young Thug is. As by saying what he did and where he is sending the disc, keep in mind because again, context matters so much here. After Young Thug also dissed Baby Keem within those same phone calls that leaked and included Keem within this long tangent for Kendrick to now join back up with Keem, who Young Thug tried to make things messy with as well on this effort. And of course on this album that we have waited for so long, and to now see him put it right within a verse like this. It just shows why people gotta stop messing with these lyrical rap geniuses and these absolute creative moguls, because firsthand we are seeing the levels that go into Kendrick Lamar's creative vision even when he is dissing and even when he is in competition and going after opponents that, well, he is not taking seriously. Which, well, does have a lot more detail and a lot more preparation than a lot of these weaker and trasher rappers just put into their entire albums with months and months and years of preparation. Even. And so, how Kendrick disses Young Thug is, of course, when adding to the story that Keem started to tell here just by coming out in the verse and saying this gossip with my girl like I'm young. Casa's too. And then he also says right and wrongs till they come with royalties in pub too. That is also important to include, as with these lines. Well, you see the core of it. What Kendrick Lamar has done is pretty simple, and it's kind of funny because just like Pusha T said about Travis Scott and their beef, well, when you have issues with these rappers who can't rap, they are harmless. So there isn't a point in making a verse like that or Euphoria or anything that even has a fraction of the depth of that. And instead, what Kendrick does here is just mention Young Thug in a passing line here like a joke, pretty much. And here is where it's so genius. Despite being so simple, he's bringing up the very same thing that he was dissed by Young Thug in all of those leaked calls. And he is using that to kind of make fun of him and his girlfriend and the way they were talking and how that looked to everyone. Which is of course made funnier by Kendrick saying, instead of trying to flip it into something mean, just saying, you know what? I gossip with my girl too. I mean, something like this, it's fun, lighthearted, human, and real while still being a clear power move that even just by putting his name within this song and doing it the way he did after everything we saw, it very clearly sends a message. And so, from these lines to other lines right after where Kendrick is talking about losing royalties and publishing too, I find this very interesting. I think there is a deeper meaning with that line, especially in the context of what we are hearing it with. And it's about someone which I think some more time to really sit with this will reveal 100% for sure. But maybe it is about Young Thug and the way he has manipulated the industry and some of the games he has played and something along those lines. Or maybe it's something more personal with Kendrick and another artist that hopefully we can get some more clues to, maybe in a music video that's going to drop soon or something along those lines. But still, we got a lot more with this track that we already can see and we already can tell means something big. As both throughout the rest of this track, Kendrick is really embracing the moment in stride and seeming to start the next chapter of what his career is going to turn into. In a way where he is making sure that everybody understands that he is dominating every sector and corner of rap music at the highest level possible, while making sure to remind everyone who has tried to mess with him. I step on him, or think that they are above him without putting in the work or living up to the moment that they are going to have to face the clownery that they have done. And they're going to have to stand up to the very test and sentiments of their own words here and see how it's going to work out against him. Whether you are a young thug who is getting made fun of or somebody else. And on that note, where this track gets very interesting and where there is some major stuff going on with potential signals being sent to entire genres, legends, peers, and rivals, well, is back in that very first line of the track after Baby Keem and Momo Boy just did their thing with some excellent singing and some excellent musical world building, where Kendrick comes in out of nowhere saying this. I never knew a love like this flood your contour make you blush like this. And with that, of course, if you're a hip-hop fan, you know what this track and moment is flipping and paying homage to, which, well, is Common's infamous track, The Light, and the way Common starts off that track with the same lines. But where things get weird here and they require a deeper discussion, and look, is where now, if we go to J. Cole's The Fall Off album, and specifically there, the track I Love Her Still on side 39, which is the record's second disc for those who don't know, from the perspective of Cole after the beef at age 39, which was supposed to be written in 2024 seemingly. And now, while that track is of course a flip and really continuation in a way of Common's classic track, I Used to Love Her, which of course the her there is being described to be hip-hop, J. Cole uses a sample of Common from the track of A Light that Kendrick is well interpolating here, and you could hear Common's voice and J. Cole crewing to it as well, where that same line, I never knew a love like this, is being iterated. And so with there being a 20-day difference about separating these moments, and we are seeing Kendrick will use the very same device and idea that we saw J. Cole channel right on the fall off here. Well, before we go any further, take this as you want, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot more discussions around this as the dust just starts to settle and everything is going to continue between everything we are seeing in rap right now. But what you can't deny about this is that the similarities and parallels between Kendrick and Cole's recent outputs are so obviously there. Well, by Kendrick using the very same flip of The Light that Cole used on the fall off. It is obviously worth pointing out, and this is something very significant after Kendrick and his label decided to put out this album from Keem, right after Cole dropped the fall off in the first place. And of course, with Cole even dropping that record and putting it out, of course, there has been so much conversation around these two and where they stand, how they feel about each other. And while we really don't know much there, as it has all been so vague, as J. Cole has started to call himself the best rapper alive again, despite whatever we saw go down in 2024, and how that turned in Kendrick Lamar's favor ultimately, and how Cole bowed out. Well, this could be Kendrick Lamar's signal to just tell Cole that hip-hop is his, or he will always have his number or something like that. But I don't know if we can definitively say that so surely yet. But you know what we can 100% tell and who we can see? Kendrick decided to really honor in this verse, no matter what, well as the same person that Cole showed how much of an inspiration he was to him, and how much he meant to his entire upbringing in hip-hop, as he well made a sequel to one of his most iconic songs, and one of the most iconic rap songs ever in Common. As I mean what you can say. No matter what is, that Common is a winner here, as two of the biggest rappers in the world, if not the two biggest rappers in the world, well have interpolated his work with in these past few weeks, and have shown entire new generations of listeners the value that Common has added to this genre by talking about these unique pockets and exploring these unique ideas in ways that are not usually seen within traditional hip-hop, especially at the level we saw Common reach and at that mainstream stratosphere in general. And so, overall with all of this, while Colin for sure is a winner, Young Thug is a loser, and for J. Cole, the jury is still out on if this is a full-on disc. What I will say is that there's too many similarities to not look at all that seriously and to not consider it as something that holds some sort of weight. And maybe it's not a disc, but it's something that's reflective of the nature of their relationship altogether. There's no major beef or anything like that. But just like Cole called himself the best rapper alive and said that nobody is close to that, Kendrick can then take the flip that he made in his love letter to hip-hop and flip it to show that he is the ultimate champion. Although I don't think Kendrick did interpolate Common to purely discal. I think this is some level of a coincidence. But listen, as this Baby Keem album is so new and from Keem to Kendrick, there is so much to decode and discover here. Listen, I'm going to be more honest with you guys than I have ever been. And for some of you, this may be hard to believe, but I'm at a loss for words when it comes to the rest of what I've been processing so far with this brand new Baby Key album. And it seems like a lot of people are sharing that sentiment. Because I guess what I could say is that as far as first listening experiences go in hip-hop, this Baby Keem album has made me feel something that I don't think I've felt quite like it in years and years and years. And so, with that, what I'll say is that I'll be back here later and tomorrow, most likely. And I will tell you more about what that feeling really means to me and how many years it's been since I have felt it. But what I will leave you with is just now, is we are in a day where the Drake stans are crying. Young Thug is probably mad. We got new Kendrick music, we got new Key music, and we are celebrating this art form we all love in hip-hop. Well, enjoy it, because really, this is going to be one of the best days of the year in rap music, and we will never forget a moment like this because it's going to change so much as we know it. So, now all that said, let me know. What are your thoughts on this new Baby Keem album so far? What are your thoughts on Kendrick Lamar's new verse, his new dices, the call-outs and references and flips that he has made here? And what do you think all this means? What do you think this means in relation to Kendrick Lamar and Young Thug? What do you think it means in relation to Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole? And what do you think it means in relation to Kendrick Lamar and Comment? Now, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Friday, and be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hype if you have not already. It really does make a big difference, and I can't thank you enough for the support. And if you want to stick around before this and see how a Drake announcement might be coming, if it has not already, that will be directly related and in retaliation to what Baby Keem is doing. You're not going to want to miss this one. So check out the suggested video. Hey, heat.